everyone, it's Keira and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So as you can see, I have got Steph from All About Steph 1.
Hey.
She has her own YouTube channel and a fellow F-Series member, and we are here to talk all things Formula E. Now we are both Formula E, what's the word?
Super fans?
Super fans. We are all both Formula E super fans. And Formula E starts in around a week's time in Diriyah. They have got a double header there. Formula E is messy. We know Formula E is messy. We know it's so hard to predict, but we're going to do it anyway. We are going to take on this task of predicting the 20 to 21 Formula E season. I thought of a couple of sub-headers, like questions like who do you think is going to do this? Who do you think is going to do that? Who do you think is going to win this? And me and Steph are going to be predicting that for you guys today. So before I get to the video, if you do enjoy it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to both of us and F-Series down below. But yeah, are you ready?
I'm totally ready. Let's do this.
This is going to be so hard. Okay, so who do you think is going to get the most SuperPoles in Formula E this year?
I don't even know how to start. How do we start predicting Formula E?
Well, last year, was it Max? Oh, I was going to say Max Gunther, didn't he get a lot?
I think he had a couple, but I think Antonio Felix Acosta was like right up there in terms of SuperPoles.
Did Oliver Rowland get a lot as well or not? See, this is difficult. I'm probably going to say... Oh, it's really difficult because I would love to say Ollie Rowland because the Nissan, when the Nissan's good, it's good. And it's quite good in qualifying sometimes. But I don't know whether I need to just play it safe and go with like JEV or Antonio Felix Acosta or someone like that. Or even Max Gunther because we know how good he is.
Yes, very consistent. I don't know, I was going to go outside the box and say Mitch Evans because he did have a couple of standout quality performances last year. So I think if that car can be quick and rival some of the others like the Nissan and the Cheetahs, I think he would have a good chance at getting quite a few.
And we don't know how Sam Birley's going to fare in that Jaguar as well because we know he'd been with Envision for like his whole life, basically.
Forever.
Forever. So to see him in the Jaguar now, that's going to be interesting. He might, par up with Mitch and get a couple of good SuperPoles together. So yeah, that's a difficult one.
They're all difficult.
They're all difficult. So the next one is who will swear the most over Team Radio. Now we know from Formula E we get the wackiest radios ever and the wackiest fights in the pit lane.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to swear the most?
Do you know what? Sebastian Buemi swears a lot. It just happens to be in French. So it could be him depending on how frustrated he gets.
True. But we might not even know what he's saying. Most of the time we don't.
Exactly.
Do you know who it might be though? Well, this is the thing. So Jack Nicholls always says, we can't bring you much... I think it's Mitch Evans, because Mitch Evans is always swearing on his radio. I don't think I've really ever heard Mitch swear on his radio. I don't know.
I think that's the point. That's why they avoid him.
But like, I just feel like every time I hear his radio, he sounds quite normal. He sounds alright. But it might be Mitch, and that's the thing. What can we hear? Like, who are we going to hear? Because I reckon Da Costa, we're going to hear a lot of bad words from him. But like, are they going to play it? I don't know.
I don't think they play it on purpose. It's just like sometimes we end up with the bad words. But I think they want to avoid them as much as possible. So we could actually not know.
We could not know. There could be somebody. There could be like Oliver Turvey, the nicest guy. He could be coming out with all these words. No, okay. So I think we're going to get swearing over the radio from quite a lot of the drivers. So the next one is who do you think is going to complain the most throughout the season? Now, I easily know my answer, but I'll let you think.
No, go on, just say. I know who you're going to say.
Lucas Di Grassi. We know Lucas is just known for complaining. No, but it's funny. It's quite funny. But anything that happens which is not going in his favour, you will get the biggest kick-off of your life. When was it? Which one was it? It wasn't Paris. Rome? What was the one where they started and then there was that massive pile-up last year and then they all had to go in the pit lane and he was like arguing with like where the starting should be, like when they should start from, and the biggest kick-off in the pit lane ever, and the cameraman was just here like watching it all. It was like a documentary.
You put that in last year, you put that in a video last year when you were talking about him kicking off the most.
I did. But also we had the Seb Buemi incident where he was going around trying to see which driver had ruined him.
Oh, there's so many moments where people kick off.
There's so many. So I'm going to say Lucas Di Grassi, but I guess you're going to say someone different.
No, it's fine. We'll go with Lucas Di Grassi. It's fine. Let's just move on.
It's not always bad.
Let's just move on.
Let's move on. Okay, so the next one is who do you think is going to be the worst team for 2021? Now, we know that Formula E is a series which is very competitive and people are very close, but you do have the top runners and you do have the middle ends and you do have the people right at the back. Who do you think is going to be the worst team? Go.
I think Neo's got a good lineup this year. I think they've upgraded, but I don't know if it will be enough to kind of just propel them that much further forward. So yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be between Neo and Dragon in terms of the team that's going to be at the back of the grid the most.
Yeah, because Neo has said that they've really stepped up for this year, but it's like, how much have you stepped up?
Exactly. Is it Williams? Are they Williams?
Oh, I don't know, because the thing of Dragon as well, they are always Dragon are like Haas, aren't they? Or they're like Alfa Romeo, but they've got such a good lineup this year. Like, I'm obsessed with their lineup. So it depends on whether the drivers are going to carry the teams or whether the cars are going to drag them down. But I reckon it's going to be kind of those lot. Really, I can't really think of anybody else that's going to be at the back. I mean, maybe I don't think Venturi are going to be at the back, but I just don't know how well they're going to do as well. So it's going to be interesting. Okay, so the next one is who played bumper cars the most. Now we know Formula E is a sport that I would call it a contact sport. Okay,
yes, it is a contact sport.
Who do you think is just going to rear end someone the most? You know when you go into like a chicane and there's always someone that's going to bump into the back of someone and turn them around. Who's it going to be?
Do you know what? JEV likes to play bumper cars.
I was going to say JEV!
Oh my god! Yes! We're the same! I don't know, like, he's so good, but then sometimes he'll just hit someone or hit the wall and I'll be like, why have you done that? Like, why? How did you do that? Oh my god, I can't believe we said the same. Oh yes, go us. On the same wavelength.
Oh my god. I was literally going to say JEV. Sometimes he just can't slow himself down and he will just go in the back of someone or on the side of someone. So I was going to say JEV as well. I don't know who else really does that. I mean, they all just do it, don't they? You would have a driver that's not used to it as well. Like Norman Nato, he hasn't done, or would you say Norman Nato, Norman Nato, sorry Norman. Not that he's watching. Somebody that doesn't have much experience might not, be as comfortable in the car, so maybe someone like that. You'd like to think JEV is quite comfortable in the cars by now, but we just don't know what he's going to do. I don't want to say JEV, but we kind of have. Sorry, JEV. So moving on to more of the, actual racing stuff and more of the actual, end results. Who do you think is going to get the most amount of podiums this year?
I think it's going to be Stoffel van Dorn. I think he was really, really consistent towards the end of last year. And I think if he can keep that consistency up, I think the Mercedes car will have made good improvements. They came third in the championship last year. So I think as long as that car is permitting, he will, be able to put that car in a good position and be very consistent. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's a good one. I think, especially myself, I'm still kind of thinking of Formula E from a couple of years ago without Mercedes and Porsche.
Yeah.
But people like Nick de Vries, now we know he didn't have a great first year and he was always 5th or 6th, but I'd like to think that he can actually build himself up and get back onto the podium. But I think we are forgetting the Porsche lineup, which is myself included. I am forgetting about this Porsche lineup. We've got a Porsche for a start and we've got Andre Lotterer and Pascal Wehrlein, two very good and experienced drivers within Formula E. So I think them two could really be a dark horse, especially if the Porsche does really step up. Because I think, I've literally forgotten Formula E last year, but I'm pretty sure Porsche were good but then weren't. So were they not good at the start and then weren't? I can't quite remember, but I remember them not always being at the top. Yeah. So hopefully when they step up and they're more consistent and more competitive, we could get Pascal Wehrlein and Andre Lotterer on the podium a lot more often.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully. I mean, I don't want to say that and then jinx them, but hopefully
Look what you've done. Look what you've done. Okay, so we all know who's to blame when they don't get their podiums, don't
Pascal Wehrlein's coming knocking. Oh, okay. So next one is who do you think's going to have the best teammate rivalry and who's going to have the worst teammate rivalry? So who's going to have a really good healthy one and who's going to have a really bad one? I know my answers.
Okay, for the worst one in terms of not very healthy, I think it could be Lucas de Grassi and
I was going to say that.
Rene Rast, because for 6 years Lucas de Grassi has had Daniel Abt, who's not really been able to challenge him necessarily. He's just hasn't been as quick or as consistent of a driver as de Grassi has. So he's had it fairly easy in comparison to his teammate. But I don't think it's gonna continue this year. I think Rene Rast is gonna give him a little bit of a run for his money, and I'm not sure how well he's gonna take it. So I don't know how well. Oh, I don't know. But the best one, I think we could have a really healthy rivalry between Sam Bird and Mitch Evans.
Yeah.
I think they could be like, because they're a bit jokers as well, so I think they could be very similar to someone like Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, and they're really great friends off track, but when they get on track, it's like they still fight each other really hard, but like leave each other enough room, and they're still respectful of each other on track. So I think that, yeah, I'm going to go with them.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think for me, one of the worst ones, I was going to say Audi, but actually I might say Nissan Edams, because they aren't the best sometimes, Oliver and Seb. Sometimes they're a little bit touch and go. So I feel like that could either go really bad, or they could rebuild like a good relationship. So I'm just not sure how that's going to go. So that could also be a bad one. I mean, a good one I think is going to be Mercedes. I think Stoffel and Nick have a really good relationship. I also think that Envision with Robin Franks and Nick Cassidy, because Nick has been working with the team for quite a long time, so it's not like they don't know each other. They're both very respectable men. Robin's so laid back. I don't think Robin would even Robin wouldn't even care.
He's so
over
chill.
in 5 minutes. So obviously we know we had that such like a good relationship between Sam and Nick. Sam and Robin. But I feel like Nick is going to be pretty much not the same as Sam. Sam is
Similar.
replaceable.
Yeah.
But similar. They're going to have a similar vibe, and I think that's going to be really good as well. So yeah. We've gone some quite good ones there. We've thought outside the box.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Now, the next one is one of my favourite things, because we know Formula E is kind of known for having more of the funny side of it. We see a lot of funny things that the teams do, or some of the things that maybe Jack Nicholls or Vernon Kay will go and do with the drivers of the teams. Now, who do you think is going to have the funniest team? So this is in terms of, I guess, kind of in terms of their social media presence and how the teams kind of work together and the teammates work together. Obviously, we saw Envision used to do Behind the Visor. We've seen that Jaguar have done a couple of things. So who do you think is going to kind of have the best fun? How do you say that? Humour. Who's going to have the best humour?
I think it could be Jaguar.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, they're similar to, they remind me of McLaren. So, I think, and they're both funny in their own right, like on their own. So I think together they'll have a really good, funny relation. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to say Jaguar. I'm really looking forward to this partnership.
Yeah, honestly, so am I actually. Yeah, I don't know who else is that funny, really. I think with Behind the Visor, which, if you didn't know, was a thing that Envision done with Jack Nicholls, Sam Bird and Robin Franks. And I feel like it was kind of like, I don't know, I feel like if they were to bring that back, I'm not saying this is no disrespect to Nick, but I feel like it was Sam and Jack that got on a bit better, if that makes sense. And Robin was kind of just there being quite funny. So I feel like it might not work as well. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to do that again or not. So it's really difficult. I mean, I don't know. I think DS Strategic is going to be too intense to have that funny side of things. But yeah, I think Jaguar probably. I do think Jaguar as well. I think they're going to be the funniest team. And I feel like they're going to hopefully...
Again.
I know, we're actually doing really well.
What is this?
Who is this? So next is a bit of a weird question, which I know you were dreading. Who's going to be slap bang in the middle of the championship? Who's going to finish P12?
See, this is so hard because it's way easier to predict the championship in Formula 1. But even as you get to the midfield, no, you just can't do it. And then in Formula E, it's even more chaotic than Formula 1. So how do you do it? How do you do it? Like, who are you thinking?
I don't know. I feel like maybe a Mahindra. I feel like maybe Alex Lynn, or maybe even Alexander Sims. Maybe, I don't want to say Robin Franks because I would like him to be higher. But maybe Robin Franks might be in the middle because, I don't know, when I look at P12, I think it was quite low down. But actually, you are in the middle of the pack. There are so many, we've got 24 drivers, you are in the middle. So if I do look at like an Envision or a Mahindra, I feel like it could be them. So I'm thinking somewhere like that. Like I would love to say, well, I wouldn't love to say, but in my head I'm thinking, oh, it's near the back. So maybe I'd say like Nico Muller. But I think it's in the middle of the pack, isn't it? So I'd say one of those two.
I'm going with Max Gunther.
Really?
Yeah. I don't...
In the BMW?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oof.
I think he could have some bad... I think the top is going to be really competitive this year. I think the top is going to be really competitive. And there's teams like Techeetah and Mercedes and Nissan who I think are going to take up top... Ooh. No, it's going to be higher. No, I don't know.
It's hard.
Why have you done this? Why have you done
this?
Just
say one. Say one. Say one. Say
oh, no.
You've said Max then.
No,
we'll see where it comes.
I'm going with Nick Cassidy.
Okay, that's better. You've just copied me, basically. Okay. You've just picked the teammate of what I've said.
No, yeah, because I think that Robin... okay. Move on. I can't.
We're moving on.
I can't do this one.
She can't do it. She's dipped out.
I'm stressed out now.
It's alright, we're on to the final 2 questions, and these are the ones I think everybody wants to know. These are the main ones. The first one is, who do you think is going to win the Drivers' Championship?
I think it's going to be JEV.
Woo, okay.
Just because it's been a Techeetah for the last 3... Ooh. But could it be time for their reign to be over? I think JEV will be very hungry since he was beaten by Antonio Felix da Costa last year.
He had a
and
bad
I think he'll
year,
come back with a real vengeance and kind of a real hunger to do really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, as long as he can come out of the blocks and be really consistent and do a really good job and be right up there, I really think he could take it again. I think he's so talented.
I completely agree. I think he's going to be really good. This is the thing. I'm really stuck between whether DS Techeetah are just going to reign again or whether the likes of Mercedes and Porsche are going to proper step up, because we know the power of those 2 teams and we know that they could come into any series and just take over. We saw what Mercedes done in Formula 1. So I am kind of sitting here thinking Stoffel was very close to that championship last year. So
I mean, very close. He was about like 72, 73 points off of Antonio Felix da Costa. But yeah, very close.
Was he?
Very close.
I swear he was was he not P2?
Yeah, P2, but the difference between P2 and P1 was massive.
Okay, ignore me then. But Antonio was on this stride, wasn't he? But actually, looking at everybody else, Stoffel was ahead. So I'm going to say Stoffel Van Dorn. I'm going to do it because I know how strong that driver is. I know people look at his Formula 1 career and they think, oh my god, he's awful. But look at Stoffel before, look at Stoffel after. Absolutely perfect. So I'm saying Stoffel Van Dorn.
Oh, I like that.
I know.
That would make me happy.
That's on the box. Yeah, definitely. Make Dorney happy.
Yeah, very, very.
So the last question I've got for you is, who's going to win at the Constructor Championship?
Do you know what? Could it be Techeetah again? I mean, it seems silly to think it's going to be anyone other than anyone other than Techeetah, considering I just said that they were going to win the Drivers' Championship. But, like, I agree in terms of the fact that Mercedes is extremely dominant in whatever it does. And I think as long as Nick can kind of bridge that gap to Stoffel that there was last year, I think Mercedes are in with a real good shot of the Constructors. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say, because you need 2 drivers, as we know. You need 2 consistent good drivers, and it's just whether Nick is going to bring it. We know he can, so whether he's going to bring it is the question. And I think Mercedes probably could have it over DS. But another people obviously we could talk about are Porsche, because I think both their drivers are going to bring it. I don't think there's any doubt in that. So Porsche could creep up as well. There's so many teams, but I feel like probably the main 3 I'm going to say is Porsche, Mercedes and DS, I think. Ooh. But if I was to pick one, I'm going to say Mercedes. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I don't think Porsche's going to have it in them next year. I think maybe the year after or the year after that. I just don't think they're there yet.
So let's say you've said DS and I'll say Mercedes. Just so we have
okay, right, that's fine.
You said DS first.
Right, okay, we'll do that and we'll see who was right.
So, there we have it. That is it for mine and Steph's Formula E predictions for the 22. Gosh, I don't even know why it's 20 to 21 anyway. It is just 2021. So, that is it for the video today. I really enjoyed doing this. Thank you so much for coming on my channel.
Thank you for having me.
If you don't know about Steph, please go and check her channel out. She has an amazing channel. Check it out down below. We're just so excited for Formula E to start. As I said, it's starting in about a week's time, so make sure that you are on it and you are ready, because it's going to be good. Thank you again for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel down below. Yeah, I'll see you again soon. Bye!